Bunch of horse shit with the deal with wires nowadays. Thanks a lot, Elon Musk.
What is this, 1918?
Right? Stupid asses. Let's see here. Okay. That's going. Alright. What's up, bro?
Nothing. What's up with you?
Nothing now. I mean, we're recording, obviously.
Yeah. How's your back doing?
That's better.
That's good. Doing the stretches I told you?
I did.
Yeah?
I didn't do them this
It
morning,
helps.
but I did them yesterday. It helped a lot, yeah.
Right? It's weird, right? How those stretches help out.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I know it's going to sound like, oh, I'm getting older, but as I'm getting older, I am realizing that, like, legitimately, like, I think the school system has, like, failed us as human beings.
Why?
So, I have learned more about general fitness, not like, getting fit, but just like, how to, like, for example, stretch to make your back feel better, or what constitutes like the type of food you should eat or can eat, which is almost anything as long as it's in moderation and you know what you're doing, right? You can't just eat Snickers all day.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
a
realize
part
that,
of dieting.
it how a diet isn't just, carving down what your intake is, but how what your intake is, right? So, like, calories are calories. It doesn't matter if it comes from a fucking Big Mac or a bowl of oatmeal, as long
You
as
get
you're
fat off of eating carrots. Like, oh, but it's all healthy for me and stuff. Yeah, but if you're eating like 3,000 calories worth of carrots a day, it's still 3,000 calories, and you're not doing anything to work those calories off.
yeah, like I just remember, like, I don't remember learning that in school the right way. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't remember learning that as, like, hey, this is what you should do. Like, this is, hey, if you're eating 1,500 calories and you want to lose weight, you need to work out more than 1,500 calories.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell you that in school.
Yeah.
But, like, when it comes to, like, other stuff, like, just like what consists of, and it could be just, my schooling, but, like, what consists of, like, measurements. You know what I mean? Like a cup versus ounces, like how to read that properly.
Oh, I know.
Like, I don't remember. I mean, I remember chemistry class, but they tell you, like, hey, put 2 of this in this beaker. It's like, all right, cool. How does that equate to a fucking cup of flour?
Yeah, but they're not, like, even chemistry class are like, put so many milliliters or liters into this beaker or whatever, and you're like, okay, I can work in metric system, but then yeah, you get into like cups and whatnot, and tablespoons, and how many tablespoons are in a cup. I have no idea. There's another one that I always, what is it? 16 ounces is a gallon or something, like, I don't remember what the conversion is supposed to be, but I always see it, and I have to think about it. Like, I was actually, weirdly enough, reading somewhere about this, so I don't know if it's true, but it harkens back to the founding of the United States, and why do we use the system of measurements that we use. Apparently, I think the article said Thomas Jefferson was pro metric system, and actually had a sample of, like, because there is a place over in Europe where they have, like, this is what a meter is, this is what a gram is, like, everything is calibrated to this. And there was actually those things being shipped over to the United States to Thomas Jefferson at the time, and he was a big proponent. I think he was Secretary of State at the time or something like that. That he was arguing for us to be switched over to the metric system, because the metric system is really much easier to read. Everything is in tens, hundreds, blah blah blah. Nothing is in 12 inches doesn't equal 1 foot. It's not that type of weird conversion. But apparently the ship was attacked by pirates, and so that was lost. The pirates ended up, I guess, auctioning off the according to the article, if I recall right, it said they auctioned it off somewhere else. And by the time that they got replacements sent over, it was way too late. The United States had already committed to what is it, the empirical system of measurements, and so here we are today, trying to learn what 16 ounces is in gallons or cups or whatever.
Sons of bitches.
Instead of just using straight up, a gram is a gram. You know, 1,000 grams is a kilogram.
Thanks a lot,
Kilo
pirates.
1,000. Exactly. Thanks a lot, pirates.
I mean, steal the wealth, not the knowledge. You know what I mean?
Right? But knowledge is wealth. So if you think about it.
No, but they don't need knowledge. They need to see the wealth part.
I mean, they did end up selling it, so.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They stole the knowledge, though.
They stole the knowledge to sell it.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about.
So
they
got
need
wealth out of it.
to steal the money part.
Or
sell us the knowledge so we're dumb enough to give you more money for the knowledge we were supposed to get anyways.
I'm pretty sure they probably tried that. But yeah, fun little fact that I hope is real. I have no idea. I didn't fact check it beyond that. I don't even remember where I read that, actually. I just remember reading it somewhere and going, oh, that's interesting.
It's one of those Jeopardy knowledge things.
Yeah, right? But yeah, I do wish that there was more things. Like, there's a number of things that you look back on and you're like, wow, why didn't like high school or something prepare me for that? Honestly, I think they could have, but as a kid, would you really have cared about how to file taxes and how to, eat healthily? Would you really have paid attention and cared about that anyway?
No, but it's one of those things where, like, you know what I don't care about?
Triangles.
Yeah, like
triangles. What did they do for me?
Yeah, like it's just like there's this like lack of like focused knowledge. I feel that like we just didn't get. That just seems like, hey, yeah, we know that it doesn't seem like you need this right now, but if they would have found a way to practically make that make sense to us, I think it would have been better. You know, like if you're in PE class and they say, hey, doing this many pull-ups will burn this much calories. They didn't teach us that. They said do 10 pull-ups.
You're saying that the physical fitness side of things should have been a little bit more structured and
it should have been
almost a little bit more biology in a way.
Yeah, because physical fitness was nothing. They didn't teach you anything. They just taught you how to do a push-up properly.
Calories in, calories out. They just taught you, do this. I don't even think I was taught like how to do push-ups or anything. Like physical education for me was always more or less, okay, here's a basketball, go play basketball.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's a volleyball, go play volleyball.
Yeah, like I get it, like it's not fun, right? But if you teach it to be way and then make it that way, that's just a lack of like you wanting to do it, I think. I don't know. It's weird to me. It's just weird to think like, because I know they're not teaching that in schools now.
They probably aren't.
There's just no way.
I don't think at least when I was in school, the PE teachers weren't
teachers.
I was about to call them real teachers. I was about to say they're not real teachers. I mean, they're real teachers. I think in a physical education sort of way, because I think that is a something you can learn and go to school for and then go teach. But you're right. Like there could be an extra piece to it that also teaches nutrition and why eating a candy bar versus eating fruit might be better for you.
Yeah, like I get it. Like I understand like when you're young a candy bar sounds way more appetizing than like an apple, right? Mm-hmm. But if you were to teach us what that actually was and how to balance that properly, where you can have a candy bar as long as you're doing this but also eating this. Mm-hmm. Instead of having the king size. I know it sounds stupid as but like it just seems like I don't remember learning the proper things is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got that.
And a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that kids are terrible and they don't want to learn that stuff. But it's like you're also the adults. You're the ones that like are.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in school too that kids don't want to learn, and they have to learn it anyway.
Yeah, so I'm saying is like that should be your structure, and it's just I don't know, like I get like learning history, right? I understand that, but like how much of that is really gonna make affect your life later on, versus how to do your own taxes or how to understand how to balance a checkbook.
Balance checkbook, he says.
I mean, back in the day, that was
Do
a real
people even
thing.
have checkbooks anymore? I don't have a checkbook.
I mean, I
You have a
technically
checkbook?
do, but
Wow. I
you
bet
know,
Todd has a checkbook.
yeah, probably. I have a checkbook just
I
because
get it.
my,
I get what
you
you're
know,
saying. There definitely is maybe like a class you could literally do that's like, I was going to say home ec. But a life styles, life, I don't know. It doesn't have to be like a class where you know, have to take like one, two, three, four. You could literally just have like a class where you're like, okay, these are some of the life choices, not life choices. This is some of the stuff that you'll have to do as an adult one of these days.
well, just
Yeah,
life
this
skills.
is how you do X. This is how you do Y. You know, maybe you can even throw some cooking in there as well. You know, this is how you make eggs. Some basic stuff.
Yeah, just like let's learn how to be like humans.
Yeah, this is how you would do taxes. Every year, you have to do taxes. This is why you do taxes, and kind of teach about that. So yeah, I could definitely see where there would definitely be value in a class like that.
And I think back in the day, like way before you and I were even born, I think they did that stuff.
They may have.
Because I can remember, like, and this is based on like television, right? But like when you heard about, like, when you went to like home ec class, you learned how to do those things. Like this is how you make a cake.
Yeah,
You know, this is the math behind it. This is the reasoning for these things.
the
But like,
chemistry behind it.
yeah, like when I was in home ec class, it was like obviously like just a class to fuck around in. You didn't really learn much, and you didn't do anything. You didn't really bake, probably because they were just like terrified kids would burn the school down.
That's the weird thing is I remember taking a home ec style class in high school. I don't remember if they actually called it home ec. I remember being in like a weird kitchen type thing, and I do not remember anything else about that class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think we learned anything of use in that class other than just like, hey, this is how to waste 45 minutes of your life before you go to learn math you're never going to remember.
Right.
Because like even like I remember like general ed in college was all the same basic bullshit you had in high school, but with harder tests.
You had a general ed class?
Well, general ed, not general ed class, but general ed classes. Like you know, if you like when you get to certain, when you go to college, you have to like take certain math courses, whatever, right? To
Yeah.
like you know whatever general ed as they call it, general education or whatever. But it's like that was just the same stuff I learned, but with like harder tests. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't an open book test. Like you have to remember equations and how to properly math things. And I'm like, all right, cool, but also like how many ounces are in a gallon? I don't fucking know.
16 ounces, I think. 32 ounces. I don't
See, exactly. We don't know. And then like, why is it like? Can someone explain to me? And I'll probably have to like talk to like you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson or something. Be like, hey, bro, why is it called a gallon? Why is it ounces? But why is metric so much easier to understand? Because it's just tens and 100s and 1000s. Why did we go this direction? Who profited off of that?
Why is it called gallons?
See? Why is it a gallon? Why is it ounces?
It's gonna literally be something stupid.
It's because it's a type of it's a measurement of weight. If I'm not mistaken.
No, it's a unit of liquid capacity equal to 3.79 liters.
Which is great. Again, it's like it's a measurement of something that's not always a liquid. Like
Or
it says,
volume of
hey,
something.
Use 3 cups of flour. All right, but what happens if the flour, like, do I compact it in the cup to make it fit? Do I just scoop it into the cup?
Yeah, that's another interesting one where you get into like use a cup of lettuce or something like that. And they're like, cool, I can fit a lettuce leaf in a cup. Does that equal a cup of lettuce? Like, I hate that measurement that people use.
Yeah, but
It's
if
like,
like
no,
you tell
if you
me,
want it to be something specific, give me it in like grams or something, so
yeah,
I can just like fucking gram it out.
that's what I'm saying. It makes no sense to me. Like, who thought that was a better idea?
I don't know.
And also, like, here's another thing. This is gonna sound stupid, and probably someone has an answer for it. But when you look at like cooking instructions on the back of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says, for example, cooking noodles. It says boil 6 cups of water. Right? Why six
Right.
cups of water? What is the difference between having enough water to cover the noodles I'm cooking versus 6 cups of water?
The only thing I can think of for something like that, where you're being more specific, let's say, of saying 6 cups of water versus just enough water to cover the noodles, is you probably have some people out there that don't understand that and want something more solid of an answer. Like, okay, if I do 6 cups, that's what the recipe calls for. Instead of giving like a instead of just saying, fill it until the noodles are submerged
Yeah,
or
it's,
something.
it's dumb.
Because there's probably a lot of dumb stuff out there like that. Like, it doesn't need to have a number to it, but because people are confused without giving some specific, number to it, that they just give it a number.
It's
So the
dumb.
term gallon derives most. This is from Wikipedia. Derives most immediately from gallon, Galun, or gallon, Galon, in Old Norman French, but the usage was common in several languages. For example, jail, Jale, in Old French, and galette, G. No, I thought that was a smudge on my screen. It's E with a little tail coming off the bottom. Llet, bowl in Old English. This suggests a common origin in Romance Latin, but the ultimate source of the word is unknown. The gallon originated as the base systems for measuring wine and beer in England. The sizes of a gallon used in these two systems were different from each other. The first was based on wine gallon, equal to the size of 1 US gallon, and the second one either the ale gallon or the larger imperial gallon. All right. It goes on from there.
So gallon's not even the same measurement in all of those. Then
Apparently not.
Jesus. Yep.
By the end of the 18th century, there are actually 3 definitions for of the gallon in common use: the corn gallon, the Winchester gallon. How many bullets you fit in a bottle? I don't know. The wine gallon, or the Queen's Anne gallon. Okay, so corn gallon or Winchester gallon, also known as Winchester gallon. Wine gallon, or also known as the Queen Anne's gallon, and then the ale gallon. And they're all relatively close to each other, but not exact.
Yeah, just another that don't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
We just decided to use a word and a rough estimate of what it would be.
Yeah.
A wine gallon versus an ale gallon. They're both liquids. So we should probably have like a same amount. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Wine is probably more powerful than ale, right? Whatever. So you need to drink less of it to get wasted. But why don't we just base it on, hey, a cup of wine versus a gallon of ale, which, by the way, sounds way better to me than a gallon of wine.
Yeah. I think the other problem there too is that it was mentioning that some is French,
Yeah.
some is English, or British. So having different countries doesn't help come up with their own.
Nope.
This is what it is type thing. But once everything converts to metric, I mean, it should have just like gotten rid of a lot of that stuff.
It just makes sense too, because like then it's the same, like because math is the same no matter where you go, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So like it's like everyone has has like a name for 10, right?
Yeah.
We say 10. There's Diaz, whatever, right? In other languages, right? But it's all the same. It's 1 through 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So why aren't we basing it on that? Not half a cup. What the fuck does half a cup mean to anybody?
It's half a cup.
Yeah, but it's like
a cup, but half of it.
It's what I'm saying. Like, why not just make it a measurement? Like, I get it. Like,
why not? It's just be 100 grams.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Like, oh, weighing stuff's harder. No, it's not.
It's not really harder. I have a little scale that I use every day.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, ugh. It's so dumb to me.
It is very dumb.
Also,
it's one of those things that you wish that they taught in school.
I have this microwavable bowl, right? That I'll do instant rice and stuff and whatever in, and it has measurements on the side, and they're not correct.
No.
So it has it has little ticks, which by the way, none of the ticks have anything on them until you get to 1 cup or in 2 cups, and that's it. There's no like, hey, this is half a cup, so I have to like count like how many ticks there are. So dumb. But I was trying to fill it with water, and it was hard to do like in the sink because like it doesn't sit completely flat, right? So I was like, all right, well, I'll use a measuring cup. I hate dirtying up more than one thing when you don't need to because like, it has measurements on it. Right. So one day I was like, I was putting in it, so I put in like 2 cups of water, so cup, right? And it was below the line.
How far below?
Like, I'd probably say a fifth of a cup gone. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm thinking, did I not fill the cup up enough right when I put it in there, right? So I
packed the water enough.
So I dumped it out, and I did it again, and it was like just shy of being 2 cups, and I was like,
so either your cups are wrong, or the bowl is wrong,
right? And so I had like there was another one, so I like one of those Pori pitcher ones that has like you can actually read it from the outside, which is obviously a better idea. So I filled that with 2 cups, poured it in, incorrect still. I was like, this bowl is not good.
Doesn't sound like it.
And I was
just like off by a little bit.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, this makes no sense to me, but whatever. I was like, a fifth of a cup is like negligible at best, but I was like, that still makes me mad that like you put this on here, but it's incorrect.
It always makes me wonder every once in a while when I'm measuring something how accurate the measurements are. I run across this picture every once in a while because someone will always repost it on Reddit, where some guy had been like measuring things out, and I think cutting lumber with this cloth, essentially tape measure. It's one of those like flexible tape measures that you can roll out and whatnot. And he was wondering why things were coming out really weird. And then he put it up against like a quote-unquote real tape measure, and the fucking numbers were like all over the place as far as matching up with a real tape measure of like where the measurements are. So it always makes me wonder sometimes, like, is this really that accurate?
Yeah.
With whether I'm dealing with a scale or something, or with any type of measurement device, where it's just like, how accurate is this really accurate? If I went and got, the definition of what an ounce is, or a kilogram is, or fluid ounce, or this or that, would this be actually able to measure that correctly, or is it off? When I use a tape measure, is it a real good tape measure that actually has standards to it that it meets?
Yeah, because the fabric ones, I wonder if it's because it was like over time had stretched the fabric.
Maybe.
Because like obviously, because that's the thing too. Is like with like wood can contract, right?
Yeah.
So fabric can stretch and contract as well. I mean, almost every
Almost
fucking
like pretty
anything
much
can do.
everything does have some sort of expansion and contraction due to temperature and whatnot. But when you're saying like, for the most part, is something that doesn't have a very large change in its size with temperature, like it should be the same across everything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just strange to me. Like I keep learning dumb things in stupid ways that I should have known already.
Welcome to life.
Yeah, no shit, right? It's like I'm not the smartest person in the world, obviously, but like sometimes I learn these things and I'm like,
I feel I should have known this a long time ago.
yep, yep. And I was like,
Yep.
how? Yeah, we were at the store the other day and we're looking at something, and one said a gallon, and the other one said like 52 ounces,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, is that the same? Because they look
Right.
the same. The shape is different of the bottle, but like one says a gallon and the other one says 52 ounces. So
Am I getting a better deal by buying the 52 ounce one?
yeah,
Might
like
be the same price
it,
as the gallon,
it
or am I literally just being shown, oh, 52 ounces, that might be better than a gallon, so I buy that and only to find out that a gallon is 52 ounces? I don't think it is, but yeah.
hold on. 128 U.S. fluid ounces are in a gallon. So that was a half gallon is what we're looking at. Maybe that's what it was. It was a half gallon versus 52 ounces. Is that correct? Nope, that's shy of two or half a gallon. Jesus, that's so dumb. Anyhow, we were looking at this thing that I saw on TikTok. I wanted to try. I think it was TikTok or Instagram. I don't remember where it was, but it's basically you take a bottle of bottled iced tea or lemonade was the one we chose because Paige will drink it more than she would iced tea, and you take a Kool-Aid packet and you put it in, and that's what you need. You need 52 fluid ounces to make a thing of Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this lemonade container was perfectly 52 ounces, which I thought was very bizarre that Kool-Aid needs 52 ounces of water versus like half a gallon or however many cups that happens to be. It just seems weird, like those, like now knowing that it's not even a full half gallon. And then you basically take the packet of Kool-Aid and you put it in the lemonade and you shake it up and it makes Kool-Aid lemonade.
Yeah.
So I bought zero sugar Minute Maid, which is not great, by the way, if you've never tried it.
I don't know if I have ever tried it.
It's not the greatest, but putting in a Kool-Aid made it a lot better.
Okay.
But then I retain zero sugar. I don't have to have sugary drinks because I've basically cut those out of my diet completely.
Good.
Because sugar's the devil, and I get it in other ways. But yeah, it was just weird to me, like Kool-Aid on the back of the Kool-Aid packet, which I didn't even read at that point. I just took it for saying, hey, this is what you should do. So I put it in there and mixed it up, and it's pretty good. But it's very bizarre to me that it was we were looking at that and it was like one was like, hey, this is 52 ounces, this is half a gallon. I'm like, they're both lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this the same? Now I know that half gallon's actually a little bit more, which makes sense why it was more expensive.
Yeah.
But also, like, why would you do it 52 ounces versus half a gallon or whatever other measurement type you wanted to do?
Don't know, man. I don't know. It's got to be like some sort of perception thing. Literally, like it's like tax on stuff, or the 99 cent.
Yeah.
Why is everything marketed as like $34.99 and just not $35? And it's because that that 1 cent that you save makes it seem cheaper
Yep.
than what it actually is.
Which is just
Or the fact that why haven't they put, like in Europe, tax is included in the price that you see.
yeah.
Uh, so if you do that here, unfortunately, then that means that if you went to a store in Surprise, it might be cheaper to buy something than going over to Buckeye or something like that, because I don't know what the tax rates for each place are, but it may be cheaper just because taxes are less in another place.
But they should show us that.
They should.
And also, our
I
taxes
totally,
shouldn't vary from place to place. It should all be the same, no matter where you are. Is it like in a state, for example, not like city to city bullshit?
I'm fully on board with displaying taxes included in the price of something, because I myself have been like, because I've heard stories about like people from Europe coming over to the United States and not understanding that taxes aren't included in the price tag like they are over there. So they'll be like, oh, I have $1. I'm going to go buy something for the dollar menu over at McDonald's or something like that. Here's my dollar. Oh, actually it's $1.07 or something like that because of taxes. It's like, well, then it's not really $1, is it?
Nope.
To buy something. Yeah, so I wish that they would do that here. It'd make things a lot easier, but at the same time, the reason why they don't do it is because in your little, brain there, it makes it seem like, ooh, I'm saving money, even though I'm not really saving money.
Because you never think about tax.
Because you don't think about tax at all. Like, it's there. It's going to be there. You're prepared to pay it, but yeah, but when you're looking at the price of something, you're like, oh, that sounds like a good deal. It might not actually be a good deal because you could technically get it cheaper in another city.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would also force manufacturers or I should say, companies to possibly take a little bit of a cut into their. Let's say something does sell for $35, and we switch over to it needs to include the tax. Honestly, they'd probably just like include the tax in it, but then you possibly get into the fact where people say, well, that used to be $35, now it's $36, $37. I'm not going to pay for it anymore. I'm going to go find something cheaper or whatnot. So in order to make it $35, companies would almost have to take a hit on their how much they get from it, because obviously you have MSRP of what it's sold to the company for, and then there's a little bit of a markup so that the company can actually make some money. If you want to keep it at that $35, then the company would have to take a little bit more of a hit on their back end in order to keep it at $35.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to look at like national chains like Best Buy, because you're right. You don't want to have somebody say, well, this computer is $1,000 here, but $900 over at this other place because taxes are less. You would want to have like, no, this is what the cost of it is everywhere.
Yeah.
So in some places you'd almost have to take a bigger hit than others. So to your point, right, taxes almost should be the same across all cities, but they're not.
Yeah, because I get it. Like if you went from California to Arizona, the tax would be different, right? Because like there's definitely different things going on, size, population, things that are happening in that state, whatever, right? Taxes will fluctuate. But when you're going from city to city, like I remember like people like saying, how much is this with tax, and then like driving 40 minutes to buy it cheaper because another city has cheaper tax. I'm like, all right.
Or like an even bigger example of that is cars.
Yeah.
Where over in Surprise or Peoria, there is tax on cars, but you drive over to Avondale or Buckeye, and there's zero sales tax on cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to me. I don't know. Whatever. Hey, did you hear about the guy who's facing jail time because he leaked 45 minutes of Starfield.
Is that what? He's
So
facing jail time? I thought he faced jail time because he was selling copies of
he is,
Starfield.
yeah. That's what it actually is, but all the articles state it wrong. Literally, like I'm looking at one from GameSpot, and it says man who leaked first 45 minutes of Starfield booked on felony charges. That's not why he's booked from felony charges, by the way.
Yeah, because I remember seeing articles like that, and then I saw one yesterday or something that I read a little bit of that. No, he was actually arrested. Well, I'm not going to find it now, but yeah, he was actually arrested because he was selling early copies of Starfield.
Yeah, my cat apparently is deciding he wants to sound like he's being abused in the hallway.
Well, he probably is. He's not. There's a closed door, so
Yeah,
that's abuse. It's cat abuse.
cat abuse. Um,
But yeah, that's pretty wild. Like, what's weird about that is how much Bethesda didn't even, I guess, as far as I'm aware, even announce that there was a breach, that they had somehow been hacked and a early copy of Starfield leaked. I'm not gonna find it now, I guess. But yeah,
yeah, so I guess he got an early copy somehow because I don't know if he was a
a reviewer
reviewer or
something,
whatever happens to be.
because they've had it
Um,
for a couple of weeks now.
yeah, like they got it. But like he somehow, I don't know if he made copies. Um, I don't know if they've actually said or not what it is. Um, he's facing one felony charge for possession of stolen property worth anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000, a misdemeanor charge for possession of stolen property worth $1,000 or less, and one misdemeanor charge for possession of marijuana. Yeah,
Just tack that on there. What?
I mean,
I guess.
yeah,
Just a weird thing to just tack on.
hey, tax evasion. You know what I mean?
Tax evasion, indeed.
Uh, then one of his quotes was, "Y'all thought I'd be out here putting stuff on the internet that ain't real. Nah, baby, that ain't how we do it. That ain't how we gonna do it. Y'all used to playing with little boys."
What
I don't know.
are we doing here? I thought we were talking about a game leak.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a quote from the guy who did it apparently.
All right.
Yeah, so he said it says here it's possible this was done by various social media sites, moderation teams, rather than Harris himself, given the fact that his Macari account, which is where he was selling games, which displays evidence of Harris selling Starfield copies, is still up, though there are no additional items currently available for purchase. So he might be part of a bigger group of people doing this.
Gotcha.
He just happens to be the one getting caught because apparently his name is on the Macari account, which is how it works. It's not for businesses. It's for individuals to sell things, like used stuff. It's usually used for clothes and collectibles.
Okay.
Apparently he's been selling, I'm guessing, bootleg versions of the game.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, obviously pirated versions or whatever you want to call it. Because I can't imagine unless he got a shipment, he got a hold of shipments of preview copies being sent out somehow. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that's possible, or how he was able to copy a game that's probably got, DRM stuff on it.
Gotcha. But I see what you're saying. Like, he was just an end link. He wasn't like the whole thing or the beginning or the mid part. He could have gotten this from somebody else that maybe worked at Bethesda, gave early not access to a build or something like that to a friend, and then gone down from there, type of thing. Could have been. Obviously, it's all allegedly.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I'm sure they'll find out as they,
Oh yeah.
as he cracks under the pressure of being sent to jail for stupid stuff.
Seriously, right? Like, just go pay for it at this point. I know it's expensive sometimes, but just just pay for it. I'm so past the era of pirating things unless it's not available in my area. In which case, I haven't even pirated anything in a very long time.
Oh, I definitely have not pirated anything in a long time.
Yeah,
It's just a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like, because
it is a lot of work.
it's never just, hey, I download this file, let's just play it. Nah. Then you have to
Nah.
like convert it, and then I'm like,
There's always the chance that you're getting a virus too, or you're getting something. You're not getting the thing that you wanted. Like it is just too much work to put into that type of stuff for me nowadays.
it's not that big of a deal either.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, there's stuff I'd like to be able to have access to, but it's like, maybe I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
The cons definitely outweigh the pros.
Definitely.
Did you watch that Warhammer Space Marines 2 video?
No, I didn't finish it. Like I said, the first one for some reason was privated like right after you sent it to us, and I started watching a little bit of the second one that you had posted, but I didn't finish it.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I don't know why that one went privated, because it was like, it was from IGN, but I think it was I think because what happened was it's the footage that the developer gave them,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't have any like stuff. I think there's probably stuff like not edited out of it, but like they probably just didn't want the entirety of it going out, I guess. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I could definitely see that being something of like, yeah, they were given the footage or something, and then maybe they just didn't run it by whoever's doing it just to get the okay to run the spot, and then they realized that they had to pull it because of that, or they did air something that they shouldn't have aired.
Yeah, because all the
yet.
other videos are like 9 minutes long, and that one was like 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something in there that they didn't want out, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, the whole footage really just, it shows at the bottom that it's not final product. So I mean, it's, that's not really, I don't know. It was weird. Whatever issues for, but the game looks pretty dope though. Like it looks. Everyone's like, oh, it's a mix between Gears of War and Doom. I'm like, okay, yeah, but also it just looks awesome. I don't care what it. I mean, it definitely looks fucking cool as shit, and like the mechanics are pretty cool. I don't know how much you saw of it, but like there's a lot of, there's obviously you're shooting a bunch of waves of fucking enemies or whatever, right? But then there's like counter attack moves, like when you get a heads up that an enemy's gonna attack you, other than just kind of swiping at you, whatever, and you can dodge out of the way, and he pulls out a sidearm and just blasts them. But then there's like finishers where like the big aliens. Which I can't remember the name of them are from Warhammer because it's been forever. Terra something or other, I think, right? I know it doesn't matter. You're attacking them and you weaken them, and then you do like a Gears of War like murder type thing, or even later Doom ones where you do some horrific fucking thing. But it reminded me a lot of like God of War in a way too, where like the you go over and you like chop his arm off, and then chop his other arm off, and then stab him in the face, and then throw him over your back, and it's like, oh, it's that's awesome. But it's very Doom like too with the newer Doom games as well. But it looked pretty cool.
I do remember why I didn't watch the rest of the video now, because I remember you said that, hey, here's another video of it, but it's a little shorter, and there's also some reviewer talking over it. Yeah. I remember the first little bit of the person talking is they have really cool chainsaw blades. It's like a blade with chainsaw spikes on it, and I was just like, huh?
That's why I quoted journalist, because the people who do these video game videos are the worst.
It's just like, yeah, you called it a chainsaw blade. Like, what else would be on it?
Oh, dude, it's so dumb.
And I just was like, what?
It's like a blade with chainsaws.
It's a blade with like, it wasn't even the way it wasn't even the explanation of like, yeah, it's a chainsaw blade. It's like, a blade with a chainsaw on it. It was literally something more like, it's a chainsaw blade. It's a blade that has spikes on it like a chainsaw or something. They said it's something like that, and I was just like, it's like 2 slices of pizza. No, it is 2 slices of pizza.
Yep. Yeah.
Inside joke there. No, yeah, it was just like, do you have to explain what a chainsaw blade is?
but also like you didn't do it very well.
And you didn't do it very well, yeah, at all, because from exactly that was another thing that left me wondering afterwards was do the the spikes move like a chainsaw?
Yeah, so in Warhammer 40,000, for the people who don't know, one of the weapons you can get, melee weapons, for Space Marines is a chainsaw sword or chainsaw blade, I think is what they actually call it, and um, it's the size of a short sword, really, and it is literally a handheld chainsaw. So it's got a hilt, and the
Mm-hmm.
blade is literally a chainsaw inside of a housing,
Yeah,
and when you
it's
swing it, it
it's
like
Gears of War but without the gun.
yeah, like
That's
it's
all it is. It's
yeah.
Gears of War without the gun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to understand. Like, if you have to be told what a chainsaw is, there's a problem beyond that. If you think you have to explain what a chainsaw is, you're the problem. You know what I mean?
And that's where I stopped. I was just like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point, you should just mute the video and just watch the footage, because that's the main point of it. Because the video I originally sent was
Just
had
pure video.
it was just pure video with the game audio, so
Yeah.
you could hear the interactive, like the dialogue from the characters, which you could hear a little bit in that IGN video. I watched a little bit of it with the second one I sent you. I think it was a GameSpot or IGN. I can't remember which one I sent you the second one to from, but yeah, it was just I every time when I was like they start talking, I just stop the video. I'm like, I'm done. I'll go find the manufacturer or publisher and watch their video, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna have much more succinct audio on it, and it's not gonna have your dumb blathering on it.
Mm-hmm.
Comparison, like it just, I don't know, it just drives me insane every time they pull up. I'm like, I just give me the news. Don't put your rhetoric over the top of it, because I don't care what you have to say at all. I never have and never will. Because you call yourself a journalist, but you're really just a critic.
Yeah. In many cases, yeah.
So you can go fuck right off. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Speaking of games,
Yes.
I thought this was pretty funny. Uh, you're a guy with a beard.
Oh
I know
no.
you don't shave, but would you shave if you had a razor?
No.
No.
That sounds terrible.
So apparently this spawned out of an April Fool's joke. I'm not sure if it was this past year or in years past, where Razer, the gaming company, said that they were making a razor, a gaming razor, so a shaving razor. Well, now it's a thing. They partnered with Gillette Labs, and they're releasing a limited edition Razer razor. It is the Razer neon green color, and it just looks like your standard Gillette. Not a standard, one of their more quote unquote higher end 5 blade or 16 blade razors or whatever they are. But let me see if I can send you a picture of it too. It is like, if they could put neon lights on it, you know they would, type of thing.
While you're finding that, did you hear the details about the PlayStation Portal?
The gamepad.
Yeah, so it's the cutting edge technology, which was codenamed Project Q. So they announced the details at Gamescom. It is a $200 price tag. It is an 8-inch LCD screen. Allows you to stream PS5 games to that portable screen. Has DualShock controller haptic feedback with adaptive triggers, enhanced immersive, and Wi-Fi connectivity. Offers seamless gameplay to up to 60 frames per second. Here's the problem. It's much like the Wii U, where the console has to be running to use it.
Yeah, it has basically no innards in it. It's basically just a screen.
Yep.
And you stream your game to the screen.
So, which means you have to be near.
At home, yeah.
Near the console to be able to turn it on and off. Yeah, I was like, okay.
It's one of those things that I look at and I go, that's kind of a cool idea. if the price was right. Unfortunately, I don't think the price is right. It's selling for like $200.
$200, $199.99.
Which is $50 more than a Pro PlayStation 5 controller.
Yeah.
I think is.
Yeah.
So I get you're basically getting a Pro controller with a screen in it, but the problem to me is that it's a different device than just a controller. It should have been maybe $100 to $150. I know you can't really probably realistically do that with the bill of materials that you have, but I think that that would be, to me, a better price to proposition of what it is thing, because it is cool, the idea that I could boot up a PlayStation and then just play it anywhere, much like if I had a Steam Deck or something, I could literally just play all my PC games on a Steam Deck, or I could take my Switch games, around the house and play it, or I could dock it and play it in a TV. But for $200, I don't think that that for what it does is worth it.
Yeah, especially since you can already do the streaming from the remote play on iOS and Android phones and tablets, as well as Windows and Mac computers.
Right.
So, like, yeah, cool. It has the PlayStation 5 and 4 controllers on it, right? Like the but it's like you could also get that same thing with like one of the what's the Razer one called?
Oh, it started with the K, I thought.
Kishi? Kishi? I can't remember what it's called.
I know which one you're talking about. I'll look it up.
Yeah, where it literally just it opens up and attaches to your phone or tablet or whatever and like converts it into a controller.
Yeah.
But like if I'm not mistaken, if I read it right on one of them, it doesn't even have like Bluetooth on it. So you can't even like connect headphones to it. You have to connect headphones to the console.
Yeah, it's called the Kishi.
Kishi, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, Kishi. Kishi.
But it has the ability to have it has a 3.5 millimeter jack on it, so you can plug wired headphones into it.
Mm-hmm.
But Sony sells wireless earbuds and wireless headset that won't work with the handheld by itself,
which is dumb.
Yeah.
Like if you're going for ultimate portability, it should have worked altogether.
Yeah. So, and I just don't know if like. So it has remote play, right? But like remote play is really just for like playing in another room where the console's not like traveling somewhere and playing it, right? Because then you have to have a dedicated Wi-Fi signal. I mean, you really want that for any streaming because like using cell signal is just a terrible choice in general.
It is.
It just seems weird to me that that's where they went with it. It's like, okay. Like, it just doesn't seem like... Are adults going to buy this for a child so they can play the PlayStation in another room? Like, no. I mean, someone will, obviously. But, like, this is definitely geared at, like, adults, but it doesn't seem like a great idea.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, the demographic that they market it to. Because even I don't know. Yeah, I would never use something like this, but maybe I'm not the demographic that they're thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it seems like it's going to break really easy because the design seems real flawed.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of it in front of me, but it's like this. Unlike the Switch, which the screen and the controllers are solidly, quote unquote, attached to each other throughout the whole entire design, it has like a bar that goes from the screen to the controllers, rather than they have the controllers directly, fully attached to the screen. So yeah, it does look like it was an interesting design choice. It's probably solid. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
When somebody gets it and does a flex test to it to see if it sits there and flex, it has too much flex to it. Yeah, we'll definitely see how well constructed it is.
Yeah, and I do know. I think two other people just released something that's similar to it that will work with the PlayStation Remote Play. One was Qualcomm, I think, and the other one was like Odin or some name I've never heard of. But they're literally just They look like a Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
They run Android, if I'm not mistaken, but they have the ability built in. There's like a little, I guess there's like a function in it that literally you can, because it's Android, you can download the PlayStation streaming app
service.
and just stream your games to it the same way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, okay. But they also have the ability to do other things other than just that. They have the ability to do Game Pass games. They have the ability to do the what's the Nvidia one called? Shield.
Yeah.
They have Shield stuff you can do on them. Not all the stuff because there's like Shield exclusive stuff. I don't know. It's very strange to me.
Yeah.
And the wireless earbuds that Sony just put out called the Pulse are $200.
Hopefully they're pretty good.
I mean, hopefully, but also they can't work with the peripheral they just announced too. So that seems strange to me. Well, they can as long as you're near the console, within Bluetooth distance of the console, which means you should be playing on the console anyways, not on a handheld 8-inch screen.
Yeah. But that seems like a very big limitation.
Yeah, just I don't know. It's very strange to me because you're not even loading anything onto the thing. It's literally just the screen that you're streaming from.
Something like that sounds like obviously two different departments working on two different projects that never talk to each other.
Yeah, I was like,
or maybe even were aware of each other.
Yeah. Other than Neil Blomkamp gave confirmation that he still owns the rights to District 9, and at one point will work on a sequel, but not yet.
Yeah, I know that he plans on working on a sequel for it, but has just not. Has been for a while.
Yeah. So someone asked him in an interview recently because he's doing press for Gran Turismo.
Which is funny because the other the headlines that I've seen coming out of that press conference, the pressers that he's been doing for that movie, are Neil Blomkamp is sick of being asked about aliens.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure he is. I mean, I would not only I'm sure is he sick of it of answering the questions because he's obviously answered it before and it's been in the news and whatnot, or at least the news that we frequent, that there were plans to do it and then it just didn't happen. So I'm sure he's just sick of having to tell people about this, not failure in his career, but even Halo. I'm sure he's sick of people asking about Halo and this and that.
I'm pretty sure he's sick of people asking him, what do you think about the Halo that did come out?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, okay. Like, doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure he probably checked it out, but also he probably didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's got enough on his plate to do, and like why would you watch something you know is probably going to be inferior to what you have, what you had in mind, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can understand where he's just sick and tired of hearing all this stuff, or being asked about it.
Yeah, it's like, why don't you ask him about Gran Turismo and why he decided to make a video game movie about video games that weren't about video games?
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, that's not a question you should ask him, because like, it's obvious if you watch the trailer and understand the movie, it's not about the video game, it's about the things the video game led to or led from. Anyhow, I do kind of want to watch that, but I don't know if it's one of the ones I don't want to watch in theaters.
Nah, it's definitely something I'd rather watch on streaming service somewhere. I don't have any intention of going to a theater. I'm not a big Gran Turismo person. Yeah. I didn't even know that this person existed before this movie. So it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, if for some reason it happens to be streaming, and I know I'm a big Neil Blomkamp fan, but even this is just like, nah, if somebody wants to watch it and I happen to be in the same room while it's playing, I'll watch it. But there's no drive for me to go see it or even watch it at home.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Rebel Moon trailer?
I did not watch the Rebel Moon trailer.
I hate you so much right now.
I told you, like, I'm so far behind on things right now that it's just like, why even start anything new?
Wow. Just a
I know, right?
big old mic.
Yeah, yeah, that'll happen every once in a while. Uh, Obviously, I think I will go watch Rebel Moon when it comes out.
Yeah,
Uh,
the trailer's not going to give you like it's not going to get you more hype. Well, it might get you a little more hype because you get to see a lot of the cool shit in action, but like also you get to see like the ridiculous shit that fucking Zack Snyder is doing.
well, I'm curious as well to see the trailer and see how much of a Star Wars, because obviously we've mentioned this before. It started out as his pitch to Disney for making a Star Wars franchise or just an offshoot. So it'd be interesting to me to see how close to Star Wars this looks and feels
Um,
without being a Star Wars property.
I'll say this, and it's not a jab, it's not anything like that. A jab at either side. It is Star Wars so far without the Force. So everything's more tangible, more physical. There's probably some kind of spiritual stuff or whatever, but it's not like you can't like. So far, what I can tell is nobody's like force choking people from across the galaxy, and like lightsabers aren't lightsabers in this. They're swords that light up, but they're like heated blades more than anything else. They're not laser swords. But it's also like, you know how Rogue One felt. It felt like a Star Wars movie, but it also felt like kind of like this like World War II dystopian space movie.
Yeah,
That's what this feels like, but with weird John Mars stuff in it. Like,
okay,
bro, dude, like watch the trailer at one point, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like that shirtless dude we were talking about in the photos that look like Tarzan or whatever, right? Bro, John Carter and Mars, for sure. There's even a multi-limbed like giant creature thing that's like yelling, and I was like, bro, dude, did he just like straight up say, yo, let's throw an homage to John Carter and Mars because that got shit on for no reason.
He could have.
And there's some Harry Potter shit in there, not the magic part, but like the creatures. And like definitely, bro, definitely made. This is definitely the guy who made 300, like for sure. For sure, and not in a bad way, like in the greatest way possible. Because like, there's just, bro, it looks, and it being only 2 parts, which depressing to me. By the way, if you didn't watch, since you didn't watch it, you get to the end and they give you release dates for the 2-part, 2 different movies.
Being a 2-part movie,
But I'm like, bro, this shit's gonna be either the most epic shit ever or the most like laden down with random shit ever possible. Is all it just, but it looks awesome. It just looks very Scott or Zack Snyder in like the best way possible. You take everything he's ever done and just kind of like mash it together, and other than just giant steam powered samurai robots fighting girls in schoolgirl uniforms, other than that shit's it's in there, bro. Like, it's gnarly.
That's cool.
Yeah, I highly suggest watching it. I'll put it on the I think I put it on the website already, but I'll send it again in chat if it's not in there. I think I sent it in chat. But yeah, it's just, brah. I'm so excited. It's gonna be ridiculous. I hope each part's like 4 hours long.
Quentin Tarantino, this shit.
Yeah, dude.
The only last few things that I have here, my laptop's actually running out of battery power.
Oh no.
Right now.
You should plug it
in.
in.
15%. I should plug it in, but we're almost done here.
Yeah, that's true.
Because speaking of Zack Snyder, apparently he is over in, where is he? I can't remember.
Cologne,
anyway,
Germany?
He's at Gamescom.
Yeah, it's in Germany.
And they were asking him, like, if you were to direct a video game movie, what would it be? He mentioned that Gears of War has always been something that's been on his plate.
Yeah.
Or the direct quote here is, Gears has always come up in our sort of circle. Shortly after that, I guess Cliff Bleszinski, I can't remember what, was he the creator of Gears of War?
Yeah, he was
just like the producer.
The producer, yeah.
Exactly.
Epic Games was his company.
Of it, but
Well,
his
Skeleton
name is
Key.
thoroughly up there with Gears of War. Anytime that you talk about Gears of War, it's Cliff Bleszinski. but he said he would approve of it only if Dave Bautista got to play Marcus Phoenix.
I'm in. 3 check
Right?
marks. Like, bro, Batista would be fantastic in that role. Obviously, we know that already. Zack Snyder will make that shit fucked up, bro.
Yeah, I
Like,
love it.
And Gears of War is so cinematic, especially the first game is so cinematic. It's just the aesthetics, the tone of it. It just screams like, hey, yeah, bro, let's do this. You know what I mean? Like, it just needs to be done. And I think would be amazing in the hands of the right people.
I think his style of directing would lend really well to the feeling of the game in a movie form, and Dave Bautista as well. I didn't realize, like, I knew that was it a year ago or something like that, he had a custom armor, the Marcus Phoenix armor, made for himself just to be able to show, like, I'm passionate about this. I really want to make this happen. I didn't realize in this article from NME, it talks about him, and he's quoted as saying that essentially he wanted to get this off the ground so bad he turned down a role in one of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
To try and get this done. Like, that's passion about trying to get something done. So it would be a crime if he doesn't get to be Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, and the only real problem is Dave is getting older. And you could get around it, but he's getting older, and like his body's not going to keep up with keeping that physique up for much longer.
So
he's even said it himself.
Done now, which I agree. Get it done now.
But yeah, I mean, just someone needs to be like, hey, let's do this. Like, let's get this done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're in an age where video game movies are probably going to be on the rise again. In a good way, hopefully, with people making stuff the proper way, and not just throwing names on shit. It's funny. Did you? I think I sent it to the group. Did you see they're remaking Alone in the Dark?
Yeah, I've seen that for a while.
And then I guess they put out that teaser trailer or whatever. It just made me think of like the Alone in the Dark movie they made a bunch of years ago.
Oh yeah, I know,
and I was
right?
like, oh no, don't let that resurface again.
Right.
Christian Slater at his finest.
The last thing that I have here, coming from Grazia, it's an article talking about Margot Robbie and what she has coming up soon. And this just sparked interest in me because the title was Margot Robbie's next film could feature Ryan Gosling, talking kangaroos, and I think it says Tank.
Tank
And
Girl?
I was like, are we remaking Tank Girl?
Are we?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Because going through it, I guess it's something. Where'd it go? I missed it. It's rumored that she will be doing a remake of Tank Girl. It doesn't go into much more detail on it. It just basically says, in short term, Robbie, whose career started on Neighbors in 2008, and accurately, along with her Barbie co-star Ryan Gosling, are in pre-production on a sequel to 2001's Ocean 11. There's also an untitled Shakespeare adaptation for TV and a remake of the 1990s film Tank Girl, both rumored to be in pre-production.
There's an article from CBR from 2020 that says Margot Robbie's 2020.
2020?
2020. That says Margot Robbie's Tank Girl movie is on hold due to the pandemic.
So it might be picking up again. When I read that in the headline, I was a little excited. I'm like, fuck yeah. Give me a modern day Tank Girl. And Margot Robbie, fuck yeah.
Oh my
I want to see
god.
talking kangaroos and fucking just weird ass shit happening.
Obviously, they need to get I don't have to, but I think they need to get Jamie Hewlett and Alan Martin's like take on it for sure from the comic books. So I don't know if you know the name Jamie Hewlett and what that is, but that's the animation half of the Gorillas.
Okay, yeah.
He's the animator of the Gorillas and the co-creator of the Gorillas. He's the one who created the comic book from the 80s. I think they need to definitely lean into that more than they do the movie.
Right.
But that's just because the source material is way better than that movie was. And don't get me wrong, I actually love that movie.
It's a very weird and strange and fun movie to watch. My only request is could we get what was it, Ice-T back?
Yep.
To play a kangaroo man?
Yep.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that shit's I'm down for that.
Right? I'm so down.
All right, Margot Robbie, start doing these passion projects, girl.
Right?
You got that Barbie money coming in. Fucking start using that shit.
Right?
All right.
That's all I got today. I got 11% on the battery.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Way before the producer gave it. No, you've been waving at this entire time. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
I've been Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.